It should say notes. It is homework and classwork. I taught this today, Friday. Today is Saturday, but taught it on Friday, so this is today's homework. Make sure you look for that title on your child's. And we did this in class. I gave the answers. Kids were supposed to fill it in with the given answers and check with each other in class today. Then I assigned number 3 as homework, number 4 as homework, 6 as homework. If your child did not copy this in class, make sure they do. It goes part of their grades. And then on the back, it's also homework, all of the back. Okay? So, and we did, exception of period 2, period 4 and 5, we did this in class. Period 2 on number 2 on the back, noticed that the least common denominator was 9, and we multiply 9 to both sides. To every term, there's 3 terms. Cross cancel, and when you cross cancel here, we didn't get rid of it, so you get your answer, you multiply it to this 2 here and get that 6, so that 2, so that this 2 was changed to a 6, because we cross cancel with the least common denominator and got 3 multiply, and then the rest is the same, like that, to get your answer, okay? Everything else is pretty much the same. So, exception of period 2, I explained this to period 4 and 5. We did this number together in class. Okay, let's look at number 3. Here, your least common denominator should have been 6, because 2 and 6, 2, 4, 6, the same common denominator 6. So you multiply both sides by 6 times 6 times 6. Okay? Least common denominator 6. Cancel out that and that. That becomes 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So that basically, when it's a 1, it leaves everything the same. 2 parentheses x plus 6 equals, then you cross cancel here, this becomes a 1 and that becomes a 3. Okay, and then 1 times 3 is 3. Multiply this times that, that's 2x. This times this. We call this distributive property. That gets you 12, and that equals to 3. You minus 12 to both sides. Bigger number goes on top. You get negative 9 here, because the bigger number is negative, so your answer is a negative. Bring down that 2x right here. 2x plus the 0, this is 0. 2x plus 0 is still 2x. That's why we don't write the 0. Sorry. We only delete this 0. 2x plus 0 is 0. So here, and we always divide last. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Your answer then, 9 divided by 2 goes into 4 times. 9 here with a 8 here, remainder 1. So my answer is a negative 4, remainder 1, over a denominator of 2. And that is your answer right there. Okay? Number 4, right here. Okay, you find your least common denominator. 5 and 15 are your denominator, these two right there. Okay? Count by 5, 10, 15. Once it's the same, it's your least common denominator. So your least common denominator here is times 15 times 15. These two cancel. 1 and 1 makes 1, and 1 times 3 is 3. That's why it leaves everything the same here. That gives you 3 parentheses x minus 7. And then cross cancel here, 1 and 3. And this 4 times this 3 leaves it at 12. Distribute here and here, 3x. Distribute, it's 21, subtract. And here's the 12, add 12. No, not add 12. It's a minus 21, so you add 21 to get 0. So this is 3x plus minus 0. Okay. Sorry. Minus 0, that leaves equals to add 21 here to both sides. You get 33. Now 3x minus 0 is just 3x. That's why they eliminate that, because it's basically 0, and 0 minus 3x is still 3x. And then you got one number on each side. You divide last. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Your answer is 11. Okay. Your answer is 11. Alright, number 6. This homework also. Your least common denominator. There's only a denominator of 4. So your least common denominator is 4 here. So we times 4. Times 4 to both. Okay, to every term, you see there's 1, 2, 3 terms. You multiply all those 3 terms by your least common denominator of 4. Okay? Cross cancel right there. It's 1 and 1. That leaves, because it's 1, it leaves this the same. 4 parentheses 4 parentheses x plus 1 minus 8 times 4 is 24 equals, now you do these two numbers. Cross cancel here. That's 1 and 1. Okay, 3 times 1 is just 3 over 1, which is 3. You distribute first here. Distribute. It's 4x. Distribute. Plus 4. And then the minus 24, that's still there, equals to the 3 that's still there. Okay, now you combine these. These are alike. That's a positive 4 and a negative 24. You need to subtract. Combining means to make new, not to add. To make new in math. Combine them to make something new. In this case, you subtract to make a new number of 20. Negative 20. The bigger number takes the sign. Now, 4x minus 20 equals to 3. After you combine, after you distribute, then combine, you need to make 0. Make 0, and then you divide last. Make 0 the negative 20, so you add 20. Add 20 to both sides of the equal sign. You got 4x minus, this is 0, 4x, oops, sorry, not 40. 4x minus 0 is still 4x, so we just don't write that. Equals to 23. Okay? And then you divide by 4, divide by 4. X then equals to 23, divide by 4, gives you 5, 20, remainder of 3. So your answer is 5, 3 remain over 4. Okay? And that's your answer. Right there. Now next one, same type of problem here. Got least common denominator. Least common denominator, you got denominator 4 and 2. So you got 4 and 2. Always count by the smallest first. 2, 4, oh, it's the same, so that's my least common denominator of 4. Times 4, times 4, oh, times 4 to all 3 terms. Okay, cross cancel, that's a 1 and a 1. That leaves you, 1 times 6 leaves you 6. Basically, it leaves you the same. This is it. Leaves you 6 parentheses x minus 2 Okay, cross cancel here. That's a 1 and a 2. And a 1 times a 2 here leaves you only, 1 times leaves you 2 over 1, which is 1 or 2. 2 over 1 because it's 1 times 1. A plus right there, and that's a 44. Okay? Because 11 times 4 is this 44. Alrighty? Now you distribute. You always do parentheses first, no matter what. Distribute right there, 6x. Distribute minus 12 plus this 2 that's there equals to 44. Now it's really important to see that this is a minus 12 or a plus. If you want to see it better, additive inverse plus a negative 12. That is a negative 12 and a positive 2. You have to subtract because the signs are different. When you subtract negative 12 and a positive 2, you get a 10 that is negative because the bigger number here is a negative, So you bring down the 6x minus the 12. These two then combined, they changed to negative 10. You get equals to 44. You add 10 to both sides to make 0. After you distribute, after you combine like terms, you make 0. Okay, so remember, if there's parentheses, you need to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. After you distribute, you need to combine the terms that are alike. That means to make new, either add or subtract, and then to make 0. Okay? 0 is here. That's 6x minus 0 equals to 44. 6x minus 0 is just 6x. That's why we eliminate. That's why you see people cross out that. And then we always divide last. Divide last. X equals 44. 44 divided by 6 is 7. That's 42 with a remainder of 2. So you answer 6 with a remainder of 2 over 6. This can be reduced by dividing by 2. So my answer is 7 and 1 over 3. Okay? Now number 3. Least common denominator is, there's 6 and 3. Our least common denominator, count by the smallest. Here, 3, 6, 9. Oh, 6 the same. We can stop. Least common denominator 6 times by 6 to both sides. Cross cancel. That leaves 1 and 1. 1 times 3 leaves 3. That leaves everything the same. So we got 3 parentheses 4x minus 2 equals to, on this side of the equal sign, we cross cancel. That leaves a 1, 1. 3 into 3 is 1 time. 3 into 6 is 2 times. Got this. Multiply them. We get 4. Okay? Distribute 4 into 4x. We got 12x. Negative 3 into 2. A positive 3 into 2 is negative 6, equals to the 4 here. Okay, now there's nothing to combine here. The terms, there's only 2 terms. We are good. The other one had 3 terms. 1, 2, 3 terms. We can't have 3 terms. We need to combine to make 2 terms. In this case, there's already 2 terms. We're good. There's nothing to combine here. We just leave it alone as is and make 0. Once we can't combine anything, we make 0 and divide last. Add 6 to make 0. Add 6 to both sides. Okay, that gives you 12x equals to 10. Divide by 12. Divide by 12. X then is, because 10 cannot divide by 12 now. You need to remember the top number goes inside the house. If it can't divide, you leave alone. You reduce this, divide by 2, we get 5/6. Okay? You leave alone, you don't divide, you just reduce if you can. If you can't, that is the answer. Alright? Number 4. Okay, you got the least common denominator. We got 5 only. There's no other denominator. Denominator here is 1, but 1 and 5, still the denominator is just 5. Okay, least common denominator is 5. 5 times 7 here is 35, equals, cancel these out. That gives you 1 and 1. 1 times 2 is 2. That leaves this the same. Okay, that gives you 2, 3x minus 8. Distribute, that's 6x. Distribute, minus 16, 35. Now, after you distribute, there's only 2 terms. There's nothing to combine here. They're different. You leave it alone. Now you just make 0 to those 2 terms. Which one do we make 0 first? The minus 16. We always divide last. Add 16 here, add 16 here. Okay? That leaves you 51 equals to 6x. Divide both sides by 6. You divide last, remember? X equals to 51, divide by 6. 7 is 42, 8 is 48, 9 is 54. So it has to be 8, which is 48. Subtract, you got a remainder of 3. So your answer is 8, remainder 3, over this denominator 6. Now this can be reduced by 3. Both can be divided by 3. 8 and 1/2 is my answer. Okay, last one. No solution. No solution, remember, the variable has to be the same. So on this side there's 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. We don't want 3 terms, we want 2, remember. So you have to figure out what you can combine together. So we can combine the x here together here. So the only 2 that are alike that have x are these 2 right there. So that gives us 5x, because 2 plus 3 is 5. And then we bring down this plus 4 here. There's nothing for it to combine. Now in order for us to make it plus whatever this is here, to make it no solution, the coefficient, the number next to the variable, the coefficient here, has to be the same. So this missing number is 5. And this here, so that missing number is 5. And this here can be any number you want that's different from this 4 here. So I'm going to make it 200. So you got 5x plus 4 equals the missing number 5x plus 200, that other missing number. You can put 300, 400, 500, a million, anything different. Because here it has to be the same, because when you subtract 5x, you will realize that 4 does not equal to 200. That makes it no solution. Any question? Reserve for lunch after school, so all the front and all the back should be filled. So if you want to look, I don't want you to just copy, but to listen on how it's done, so that you can do it in class when we do group questions. Okay? Nope, wrong stuff. You post it on Facebook soon, so for those of you who have no Facebook, make sure you go to here, and then I will post the answer here on 11/14, just like I have on the other days where I post your answer here too. So sometimes if I don't email you the information, remember it's on this link, and you go and find the date and the period in your period These videos are typically for periods 2, 4, and 5, okay? And then click on that, it goes to YouTube. So if I do not ever get to email you, it is on here also, okay? Please do that. If I ever do forget to email